people are too afraid to support.
What were some of the moves that got you there, and how was the transition from Jacksonville or Columbia to LA?
You know, quite the culture shock, some may say. So basically kind of how I got the balls to move out to LA was, honestly, I just started rumors about myself. And, you know, just, I was the entire production team. I was the director. I was the DP. I was the camera operator. I was the gaffer. I was I was the whole thing. I was a co-producer with Emmett, all that shit. And so getting to do that was really eye-opening because I was like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. Like that was the rush that I was just like, you're weird as fuck if you're over there hating in the corner and being like, this is cool, I'm jealous. It's like, they're...
What's up, everybody? I'm James.
I'm Marcellus.
And welcome to another episode of Issa Kickback.
What's happening?
Hey, this week we're kicking it with my boy, Becker. You've heard all about him, but now it's time to hear from him.
What up, gang?
The legend.
Yeah, the one and only. But you know how we get down. Before we get started, we're going to set the vibe.
For sure.
I think it's my turn to do that, so I'll take care of that one. So the vibe check for this week, fellas, and your story kind of really inspired this one.
Okay.
Let's go.
The vibe check is, when the door opens, will we be ready to walk through it?
Oh, okay. I did that.
Yeah, so let's go with you. Kind of when you hear that,
answering the call when it's called upon you. Excuse my stutter there, but we can't be afraid to take a chance when the opportunity presents itself. Whenever a job opportunity comes up, or a girl becomes single, or you see $10 bill on the ground, you better take that shit, It could be applied to any facet of life, so I definitely did that, for sure.
Becker, when you hear that, kind of what comes to mind?
I really like that quote. It speaks a lot to me, because there's a lot of, things or opportunities that come up in life.
For sure.
And you may not realize that it is an opportunity until you look back on it. So sometimes, you've always got to, make sure you check shit out and vet the opportunities. But, there's more opportunities out there than you really realize. And so whenever things do come in your orbit and, something that you can take advantage of, are you ready? You gonna do that shit?
Hey.
I try to be, but hell, I'm sure I can always do better.
For sure. As we all could.
Yeah, facts. So for me, it's like doing things even when you're not ready, or you don't feel like you're ready. And I think being willing to go through the door, even when you're not ready, says you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
Because just to keep it like analogy simple, it's just like most jobs these days. Do you actually think you could do the fucking job, or you're just gonna learn it as you go?
I sure did.
Like, why would you not apply for something just because you don't know it?
Yeah.
Most jobs teach you how to do it anyway.
Right, bro. If there is a job that you are interested in, apply for that shit. I don't care if it says you need 8 years experience and you've never touched whatever they need. I mean, okay, you're probably not getting that, but we can reel it back to something more realistic.
You never know.
It's like, say you only have 3 or 4 years of experience in that, and they're asking for 7 or 8. It's like, why not me?
Yeah.
That is a list of suggestions. Even if they say you need this, you need that.
Yeah.
Shit. If no one else applied, and I'm the only person they got. Yeah. They got to choose someone. You're hurting. You wouldn't have that listing if you didn't need it. So
that's how I got last in 3 or 4 of my jobs. So I understand exactly what he's saying. I love how all 3 of us had different answers. So I like that.
Nice variety.
For
all
sure.
Right, so just moving on. Becker, my brother, my best friend,
my dog.
What's up, bro? Kind of tell the people. A lot of people have seen him at some of my shows, and I mean, they've also been his shows, some of them. But you've seen him running around with the camera. I'm the one with the head cut off. He's running around with the camera. Becker, kind of tell people, who you are, what you do.
Yeah. Well, most times I am running around seeming like I have my head cut off as well. I'm always like, I need to do this. And when in all reality, it's not. But anyways, my name's John Becker. I currently live in LA. I'm a director, producer, editor, and just kind of all around do stuff in production, live events, different things like that, and videos for social media and stuff like that. So,
for sure.
That's
you raw, bro.
Yeah, thank you. I've got a lot of interest in pursuing like writing and shooting and directing like TV shows and movies and things like that. I just actually had finished up editing my first short film that my homie Niles Abston wrote. Shout out Niles. We did that last fall and then spent the beginning of this year wrapping up post-production and getting things edited. And it's going on the festival circuit now.
Is that the Honda 98?
98 Honda, yes sir. This man checks it out. And I have some great news for you.
What's up? January
13th, you can watch it on YouTube.
Nice.
We are ready to drop that shit.
Yep. What's up?
We've been ready for like 4 months, but had to wait for all of to get either accepted or rejected. Fuck them, but it is what it is. And so, that's where my interest lies, but also doing different things within the music industry, live event space and stuff like that. I'm doing a lot of it and very interested in that stuff outside of the filming as well.
Yeah. So I met you when I moved to Jacksonville, and it's a very small like farm town. So
19,000 strong.
Yeah. So on the side, you're also a farmer, and like, how did you get your start into film videography from that? Like,
right. It's so funny whenever I tell people, oh, I grew up like on a farm, and like I go back home and, do all that shit. They're like, huh? But so yeah, no, it's very interesting starting out as, on a very small farm in a very small town in the middle of, yeah, well, it is. But we basically kind of where I first started down that path is I got an internship at a local radio station there in Jacksonville, working at WEAI and doing like just DJ stuff and like, reading news and weather and things like that. How old
are you at this point?
At this point, I was 6. I just turned 16 or 17, something like that. Okay. Was when I got started out. Did that because my parents were like, you can only drive to school if you have a job. And so
yeah.
It was an unpaid internship, but job enough. Yeah. So, and it was only like, it was like 2, maybe 3 days a week, depending on my schedule and all that stuff. Right. But I got the car 5 days a week, baby. Let's go.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, right.
I appreciate you always.
Dude, yeah, those rides
pick me up, take my ass to school. I appreciate you always.
That gallon of goldfish, baby.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, so started working at a radio station, and with that, I kind of got interested in just like the aspect of production, and like, it was a news-based radio station, so I was like, had some interest in news. And after doing some research, I found out that Mizzou had a pretty good like journalism program, like one of the top ones in the nation.
Yeah.
So that's 2.5, 3 hours down the road from home. So that was, close enough to where I could go home, but not close enough to where I am home. Yeah. So it was far enough to be able to, figure out what it was I wanted to do and, pursue whatever is out there. So got into news there, went through the news program at Mizzou, and was like, I don't know if like being in front of the camera is necessarily what I want to do, because every single motherfucker at that place was like, I want to be on the face of ESPN. I was like, damn, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I kind of sat there and kind of recalibrated, what it was I wanted to do, or, where the needs are within the industry. Everyone wants to be in front of the camera, but no one wants to take the time to learn what you got to do behind the camera and what all goes into making the thing you see on the screen, the thing you hear in your headphones look good.
Yeah.
So I kind of, and then some.
Yeah.
So I switched from news to doing kind of more like, I also did like sports, which is a little further away from news, but it's still basically
sports,
news.
Bro. You did
sports. And then some. Yeah. And then I started working for Mizzou's athletic department and the broadcast department, doing like live events, doing camera work for that, helping set up, running the replay. I directed some different games and stuff.
Are you going to Mizzou at this time? Like, are you in college?
I started working at the news station while I was at Mizzou, and then basically the last 2/3 of my senior year is when I started working with the athletic department.
Okay.
And from there, I kind of I graduated and then stayed in Mizzou or in Columbia because that was where a lot more opportunities were there for video production and things like that versus being back home and stuff. So stayed out there. And then as I like got into my stuff at Mizzou, I ended up getting in with some different people on the football team that did video stuff. I did like some of the coaches film for the football team. Just shooting practices and stuff that they'd like watch on iPads later. And then as I like got into that, I started talking to other people that did the social media video for football and stuff like that. And so then I kind of shifted from, I still did some of the coaches video stuff, but I was more into helping the social media side of the football team and creating content that way. And so once I got into there, it was kind of like, it's a few steps removed from news at that point. And then I kind of was like, oh, this is where my passion lies. This is what I like to do. Being able to have that creative freedom instead of, working at a news station where you're talking about, someone like robbing a bank and then killing themselves because they got caught, or just some of the most saddest shit you've ever heard. And you're just like, ooh, I don't want to hear this 3 more times on the newscast. I have to work.
Yeah.
Well, that's you taking opportunities presented and going to a new field and finding your new passion in which that you actually really love to do instead of talking about robbing banks and killing. So that's awesome. Yeah.
Nah, he's only just getting started in his bag too. It's so crazy because my man's has done some shit. Like, I'm very proud of you. Like,
I appreciate that.
You keep me inspired.
You were my biggest cheerleader, and it means a lot to me. I really do appreciate that.
For sure.
So you've talked us all the way from high school to where you're at Mizzou. You've graduated Mizzou. You're in athletics, and you say that's kind of where it clicked. Like, okay, who was there any specific person that inspired you while you were in that space? That was like, I know you spoke of the moment of everybody wants to be in front of the camera. What do they need? Okay, you go down that logical route. So now it's like you're doing it. What inspired you to be like, this is it?
Yeah,
this is it. It was kind of, a lot of things that built up to that moment of where I was kind of like really shifting from being in news to getting on that more of like entertainment side of football coverage. And it wasn't just like things there within those workspaces, but also I have some friends that, one of my friends, he wrote, shout out Emmett, he wrote a script for this TV show, and he was just like, oh, I just did this thing, and is anyone interested in checking it out? And I was like, oh, I will. And that was kind of like my first Hollywood-esque experience of reading a script, talking it over with him, and from there he was
That's cool reading the script,
dude, for real.
And it's on YouTube, the movie.
Not that thing, that's a different project, because then we went over that first episode, and then he had part of another episode written, so we wrote that together and finished that up. And then I even went out to Boston and visited him, and we just kind of spent the weekend going out drinking, writing, working on the script, drinking some more, talking about the script, just fun things like that. And I just had so much fun doing that. And he was like, yeah, dude, it was kind of my first real, like I said, Hollywood taste. And I was just like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. And so he was like, hey, I wrote this 4 episode little web series thing, that are short episodes, 5 to 8 minutes long. And he had asked me if I wanted to shoot that, and I was like, hell yeah, I do. So I packed up a small little duffel bag, and that was all I could bring for production equipment, just whatever I could fit in this bag, and made it work. Went out there and spent 2 different weekends out there shooting, and just I was the entire production team. I was the director, I was the DP, I was the camera operator, I was the gaffer, I was I was the whole thing. I was a co-producer with Emmett, all that shit. And so getting to do that was really eye-opening, because I was like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. That was the rush that I was just like, yes, I enjoyed it. I was dead tired. There's some like picture he has of me, like we're getting ready to go out and shoot, and I'm just like passed out in my coat with like one of my production bags like right next to me, and just like all my I think I have like my notebook I had notes in for it like on my chest like this. and you know, I was exhausted. I was fucking pooped, but I loved it. And so like that was a great experience to where I was like, okay, I think it's time to get serious about this.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that realization was made in January of 2020.
Yeah.
Right before the pandemic. So I was like, at that time.
2020.
Yeah.
That's a fun time.
Right. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm going to start looking into what I need to do to get out to LA, you know, places to stay, saving up X amount of money, you know, different things like that.
Right.
Then the world shut down and, you know, lost a lot of access to work and stuff like that. And I was like, I'm actually going to stay right here in Columbia where it's way cheaper than LA to live.
Yeah.
I like saving money. So I kind of waited out the pandemic. And then once things started opening up and like all that shit, I was just like,
right back.
Why not? Yeah. And now's the time. Yeah. And you had asked about someone you know that inspired me. I kind of have a little, there's like hops along my story I've strung out so far of people that have really influenced me and inspired me to do this. First off, there was the sports director at the news station I worked at. His name's Austin Kim, and he was there when I was like just an intern at the news station, just like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
Right.
And so he had told me, like, you know, once my internship was up, you know, they have like paying gigs for students as well there. And then, you know, he encouraged me to apply. And then once I got a job, I was like running the teleprompter, like running the audio board during the show, or different editing the video and stuff for it. And so I kind of got my foot in the door. And then from there, he was like, you know, in my ear about, hey, you should come try out the sports. We like need more people to shoot Friday night high school football during this fall, and because there's so many games and they're all spread out so far, but it's so much shit. So I was like, okay, cool. So he gave me that opportunity, kind of like got me in the door of, you know, like, how do you shoot? What do you look for? How do you cover things and stuff like that? And then he also helped me get in with the Mizzou broadcast department of kind of like making that introduction and being like, hey, he's shot all these games for me, like all these high school games. He's shot Mizzou games before, like, you know, you guys should check him out or, you know, get in touch. So he kind of helped me get into there. And once I got into the Mizzou broadcast department, my overall boss there was another, you know, very impactful person on my journey, and Chad Potoff. Shout out Chad.
For sure.
And he, you know, was one of the first people that I had met there, and like I had showed him some of my reel of different things I had shot and stuff like that. And he just kind of took me under his wing from an early age, and, you know, or from an early time being in there. And he, you know, saw my potential, or, you know, that I cared about what we were doing, and, you know, was able to anticipate things and stuff like that, which is all live sports is, just anticipating what's going to happen before it does. And
I never thought about that.
Right. And so, I mean, that's just like live, you know, a concert as well. It's like, this song's hype, so they're probably going to be moving around a lot, you know, just being ready for where they're going to move.
They broke the floor at the last one.
But yeah, so Chad was a big inspiration to me as well, and just kind of like recognizing that I had a passion for this and pushing me of, you know, how to anticipate things, what to truly look for, what can be, you know, hints for what's coming, and just, you know, being on top of shit as it's happening and being prepared for what's going to happen. He also kind of like saw that, you know, he could just like, you know, if I wasn't doing anything correctly, he could just be flat out blatant about it and just like say that, because not to like make me feel bad. He recognized that I would like react well to that and stuff.
You were able to take direction.
Exactly. So we kind of had a really cool relationship with that, to where he would always like lean on me for, you know, big things, and like always, you know, knew that I'd, you know, have what he needed, or, you know, things like that, because he he pushed me that whole time and, got me to the level of where, I was one of the top camera operators there and, someone that was, on every game that I put available on the call sheet or whatever for the upcoming month, I was scheduled.
There we go.
So he was another just super helpful person on my path of helping me understand of just how this whole business works and how to do it, navigate it. And he actually helped me get into doing the stuff with the football team, which was super amazing because he definitely didn't have to do that because it definitely took some opportunities of having my help at some of his events away from him.
Yeah.
But, if you put the work in and, show that you can do these things, then, he felt comfortable of being like, okay, passing me along and, allowing me to help some different areas. That's,
game recognized
cool.
Game.
For real, bro.
Yeah.
And so, from there, I started doing the coaches video stuff. And one of the guys that worked there, his name's NicDanger. Sorry that I got your name wrong, Nick. I know I did.
At least you're honest.
Yeah. Love you. But he was working on shifting from the coaches video side of things to doing stuff with the social media side of stuff and, kind of like more long form videos that are like, more than just basic edits of like, here's the thing, but it's, kind of thought out stuff. And kind of the way that he pitched it to me when he was heading that way is he was like, I'm trying to basically be the HBO division of, Mizzou football. And I was like, I was like, you sold, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm in. That's kind of how I got into that lane. And he was someone that really kind of like pushed me to that next level and taught me a lot of stuff about editing, things to look for, being precise and to a point of perfectionist on when you're creating these things and putting them together. So like he was, they all kind of taught me different things along my path of getting ready to move out to LA and be out there and being ready to hit the ground and not having to like start over.
Yeah. Cool. So let me ask you this. Do you think you'd be where you are without them?
That's an interesting question because do I think I'd be exactly where I am? Probably not. I think I still could have had the inkling to get interested into these things, but having them as like leaders and people that were ready to teach me was amazing because it just gave me a sense of direction and kind of just a professional understanding of this landscape that I'm
mentor will take you a long way. So with all that, with having mentors in the game, at that phase in your life, having mentors and things like that, what would you tell a videographer that's kind of interested that doesn't have access to that?
The internet is a very powerful place where not only is it a place that has literally whatever piece of information you want to learn is online. How do I shoot a football game? How do I edit? And then also part of that is it's not only learning as in someone sitting there telling you how to do things, but also it's kind of like figuring out your own taste as well. Right. Part of that is staying up to date and watching. If you're interested in making music videos, do music, like watch a shit ton of music videos, like know who's making dope shit. Right. And, they're going to be doing things that they have a team of 15 people, 20 people there to help out. So it's like, you may not be able to do that, but how can you infuse things that you like that you've seen other people do into things that you can do, whether it's by yourself. If you have a team of 1 or 2 people, how can you guys make that work? How can, you build as a unit and things like that. And so it's important for the internet's not only important for like learning and understanding what you like, but it's also an important place for connecting and meeting people. Yeah. Which it's always easier said than done. Being like, you'll see someone online and be like, I know we'd be friends, but it's like, how do you go about, making that happen without it being weird or, things like that. And, sometimes it's like James said earlier, game recognizes game. You just gotta, just show people that you're a fan. Yeah. Some people are too, I heard the fucking dumbest thing ever. People are too afraid to support independent people. That shit is ridiculous. It's
true.
like I was literally at a show 2 years ago. AG Club was there, and they're someone that I kind of found as I was moving out to LA. Super fuck with them, love them. And so I saw they were doing a show and got tickets. It was actually a free show, so I guess I didn't get tickets. You know, whatever.
RSVP.
But, yeah, I got the RSVP link and hit yes. So I pulled up with a couple of my friends, and one of my friends, and then his neighbor. You know, I had 3 RSVP yeses.
Yeah.
So my friend was like, "Oh, can like my neighbor come along?" I was like, "Yeah, cool, let's do it." So he's a cool dude. He also made music and stuff like that, and so we pulled up. And like, bro, when I tell you, AG Club just absolutely tore that shit up. Like the energy that they brought, like shit's crazy. Like after this, watch the whole episode. After this, go YouTube AG Club live performance, and you'd be like, I see.
Yeah.
And so they tore it up, and we're driving home, and my homie's neighbor, he's like, "Man, I felt so corny in there, like, because I was fucking with what they're doing so much. It made me feel like a fan." I'm like, "Bro, be a fan.
Yeah.
You like that shit."
Yeah.
What
do you mean? What do you mean? Everybody in there is a fan.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're weird as fuck if you're over there hating in the corner and being like, "This is cool, I'm jealous." It's like, yeah, they're on the road to doing dope shit.
Yeah.
They're on the road doing dope shit.
They are doing dope shit.
And you're over here butt hurt and won't support because they're doing what you want to do. It's like, yeah, everyone's got a path, man.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's not taking the same path.
That should be
exactly. You should get inspired by seeing someone like leveled up.
Bro, when I see dope concerts, I'm like, damn, I'm gonna do that one day.
Right?
Like,
Dude, it gets me inspired for the amazing things that me and the people in my like circle like can do.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you want to support something cool? Something like, dude,
possible.
Think about the first year of Camp Flog Gnaw, bro.
Yeah.
Like that shit is just selling out Dodger Stadium this year. But you know, year 1, year 2, it took moving the world to probably, you know, get a good number of ticket sales. But it's like, those were fans. Those were people that supported, and those people that are genuinely fuck with it.
And there's other artists.
They're responsible for the shit that happened this year.
Tyler just had an interview where he was just like, "It was nice. I don't want to go on last. You know, I want to just enjoy my friends."
Exactly. He's a fan.
Yeah.
You're telling me Tyler, the creator, can be a fan and your bitch ass can't? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyways, that is why I had to clarify my homie's neighbor, not
my
two friends. Not my 2 friends. It was.
He's not my friend.
He's fine. He's fine. It's just that I was like, okay, guy.
For sure.
Yeah, that's a rough first impression.
So you said you saved up after COVID to make the transition to LA. What was some of the moves that got you there, and how was the transition from Jacksonville or Columbia to LA?
You know, quite the culture shock, some may say. So basically, kind of how I got the balls to move out to LA was, honestly, I just started rumors about myself. I started telling anyone and everyone that I knew that I was moving to LA. And I was like, shit, if everyone thinks I'm moving to LA, I can't make myself a liar. I guess I got to move to LA. So I just started telling people that shit. Told my parents that shit. I was like, I'm heading out there. And it's like, you know, it's the first step of moving out there is, you know, speaking its existence and putting it out there and being like, hey, I'm moving there. So I told the TV station. Actually, I held off on telling the news station until it was a little bit closer. I was just like, they don't need to know until, you know, I gave them like a month's notice, you know.
It's awfully kind of you.
You know, just go and be like, by the way, I'm not coming back. 0 days notice. Yeah. Well, you know, if
they've been good to him,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm joking.
Any future employer, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just started telling people I was going to move to LA and told, you know, the spot that I had my lease with in Columbia that I wasn't resigning. So I was just like, all right, I don't have a place where my home has been. I've been telling people I'm moving, so I moved home for like a month and a half, and then headed on out to LA. I set a date. I was like, I don't care if I don't have a spot to stay or anything. July 27th, I'm going to start driving out west, and not stop till I'm in LA.
You fucking drove?
I drove. I need a car, bro.
I mean, yeah.
You need a car to get around there. It's like they have public transportation, but they don't. It's so inefficient. You know, you go to like New York or Chicago and you're just like, oh, so this is public transportation. In Tokyo, I was just like, my God, LA could never. So yeah, I just set a date that I was going to start driving out there, and it's like I didn't have a spot set at that point to stay, and luckily, like 2 weeks before I moved out, one of my friends from Mizzou, he like reached out to me and told me, "Hey, we got a spot open at my place and are looking for someone. If you don't have a spot yet, you're welcome."
You heard the rumors?
My man said 2 weeks. 2 weeks before.
The man, he heard the rumors. You were correct. So yeah, I luckily got that spot before I moved out there. I was like, oh, thank God. Because I was going from just whatever I can pack in my cargoes. I was like, cool, now I can send out my mattress and all my clothes and camera gear and stuff. So, so that was a big relief. And so, yeah, that kind of got me out there and stuff. It's very much a night and day difference from, you know, Jacksonville or Columbia. Columbia was the biggest town I had been in, you know. They've got maybe 120,000 people there, and you know,
maybe just
LA has millions. I couldn't even tell you the population. Depends what all you consider or whatever, but way more people. Like, you know, the traffic was obviously a big difference. You know, you hear about that if you plan it out right.
You had to pick one day. What was the biggest culture shock? The
different pockets of people out there was crazy. Like going off to college, you started to see some different areas of people, but you know, a lot of people are coming from similar backgrounds and things like that. But when you get out to LA, it's like any person you can imagine, they are out there. There's groups of them. So it's like you can find your group, your community out there. And that was kind of one of the big things I worked on from getting out there early. Was just, I'm moving across the country. I got to start building up a new group of people I know, trust, can hang out with, can collaborate with, and stuff like that. So the fact that, you know, I can move out there and it's like, there's no facade of, you know, I've got to act this way around whatever people, or I've got to hang out with these people because they're the only people conveniently around me, or things like that. It really opened up my options of what I could do with work, what I could do for leisure time, and, you know, friends and things like that. So that was a really fun culture shock, I would say, to have the opportunity to meet anyone.
For sure.
Oh yeah. Now, all right. So you're out in LA 2 weeks before you get a spot. You're out in LA. You experience the culture shock you're living. How do you kind of enter the industry that you're in now? Yeah, because I guess we didn't really talk about what you do currently.
Right,
We jumped into who you are. So kind of tell us what you do now and then how you got into that position.
I do a lot of freelancing, so I've got a lot of different projects and things that I do and work on. But like kind of one of the biggest things I do is one of my friends that I met out there on a music video set, Brett 5D, shout out. He and I met on a music video shoot and kind of like really clicked almost instantly in just the way we work together, you know, idea building and things like that. And so we stayed in touch and did a few other projects and things like that together. And we were just like, oh, we're on the same path. We're in the same lane, and like kind of like see the areas for opportunity out there and things like that. And building things, people, groups up. So he and I started, well, A, getting sick of making music videos, but then B, kind of noticing that, you know, music videos don't necessarily do what they used to do for you 5, 10, 15 years ago for sure. Like it's such a different ballgame. Because like you can, like the budgets for music videos have never been lower and the expectations have never been higher. Like, bro, people are expecting
I understand.
People are expecting a Travis Scott music video for $200.
Yeah, with
you know, something like that.
Budget.
You know, and I'm just like,
that's so true.
I got my iPhone. And so we got sick of music videos and started turning to making small batches of content for different artists or streamers or just, you know, anyone that has a social media presence and wants to make short form videos, we started focusing more on, 15 to 35 second reels for Instagram and TikTok versus music videos and YouTube shorts versus something that's just like a YouTube video that, yeah, you post it, looks cool. It could be sick as hell, but it loses its legs in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then people are like, okay, I don't need to keep seeing the same 10, 20 seconds a clip of this music video and stuff. And we kind of noticed that and then shifted into doing content for artists. And
did you guys kind of take music videos like out of it, or are you still open to shoot them?
We're still open to shoot them, but we're not really given any type of like buddy deals or things like that. Like
you've got to
come with the money for us to get out of bed for a music video, because that's a lot of work and a lot of concentration and shit like that. And when, it's for something that's like, yeah, this is some money, but this isn't paying rent this month or anything like that, then it doesn't, if it makes sense, we'll listen to, anything anyone wants and, see what we can do to help. And if we're not able to give them the music video, we can give them other options or ideas we have, and work that way.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think that's a good pivot though, because as far as music
goes, it's a bunch of mini music videos is all it is.
Yeah.
It's just choose the most exciting part of the song that you think people can relate to, that people will fuck with, and put it out there 20 times. You'll look different in all of them, outfit changes, different places of scenery and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, this I need to go into this because I need the artist from this area and that I work with.
Yeah.
To really hear this. So what is so for my content shoots, right? I charge $50 an hour. That's with a few edits, and then I'll cut them reels that are raw. Like you can edit some yourself, right? $50 an hour. If they want just raw, I go $30 an hour. Right? What are your prices?
For our prices,
yes, let them know because they don't be believing me. I'm like, bro, y'all.
$50 an hour does sound like a lot initially, but then once you sit down and break down all the things that you do and things like that, it's like there's a lot of downtime where it's like I've got to do this to make it look good but it's like
no, see,
like
me knowing you, it's me knowing you and just the work you've done for me. Like a lot of you guys will know, he did the Jarren Benton recap, Montana 300 recap, and he shot footage of some showcases at some of the early Spook Fests. Like, so
thank you, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm always going to be grateful. You helped me find my videographer that I use today. And that's because of the internet. I wish I could have squeezed that in there, but that
because the internet shut out.
Yeah, and it's so crazy how that worked out. He was just like, yo, I met Becker. I was like, what?
Dude, that was crazy. Whenever we started talking, he was like, just where we're from and
LP.
shit.
LP,
yeah. I was just saying whatever, and I think he brought you up.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, that is my best friend from my childhood. James?
Yeah. So
goodbye, James.
But yeah, okay, so what are the I guess it's like it probably comes off of like a by custom or work with budgets, but like
right, it kind of depends on what people are looking for. If they just want like 5 or 6 videos in one location, just with one outfit and things like that, to where it's not going to be
so the variables of it are, it sounds like outfits,
locations. Are they all in the same area? Do we have to drive around? What are we doing in
LA,
that?
so
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Hey, and LA gas prices, they like $5-6. I'm like, ugh.
Bro, if I can find gas under $5, I immediately pull over and fill it the fuck up. Bro, I'll be on like fucking. I'll need 1 gallon. Be like, well, looks like I'm getting $5 of gas. Yeah, the variables are one big thing because some of the people we work with want 5. Some people are like, I have 3 or 4 songs I want to do. Like, my EP is coming out and I want to have 3 or 4 for each song and things like that. And do they have a plan or a place that we can shoot? Is that something that we have to find and think about, plan?
Okay.
Right. Bro.
These guys, bro.
It's like, if if you want to hear the honest truth, James,
he wants to hear it.
You should be charging for pre-production as well. Yeah. You're planning out what gear you got to bring. Where am I shooting? The camera angles. You know,
they'd be like, "Do you have lights?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's extra $20 an hour for the lights." Like, they're just like, "Well, you can't just bring the lights, bro." Like, you're like, bro. But that's my market. That's my market. But it's also. I need to put you on the phone because I'll be like, man, all right, because it's like I'm still trying to build my. It's not about me.
And part of it is you do want it to look good, but also it's like you got to make it make sense.
And that's I've been telling everybody. 25's the year it all makes sense because I'm tired of it not.
Let's get straight to it. Ballpark on average, if we were in his position, what would you charge?
For your untucked or for your tucked aways?
Yeah. No, just let's focus on the content shoot since that's what you do.
Yeah. Content shoot, you know, ballpark of what I feel like around here, you know, like somewhere around 10-ish videos for, you know, in the range of like 300 to 450, you know, is maybe doable. Like I almost want to say 500 depending on what all, you know, is going into it and stuff.
Let me write this in my notes.
Oh, I mean 10,000 is what I would yeah. Put that in your notes.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate that. I'm not in the music market, and I think that's the biggest difference. Like a lot of these artists, unfortunately, a lot of you guys are hobbyists. You guys will never do what it actually takes.
Right. And you know, some of those things do include changing your scenery.
Yeah. And that's a big part of it. Like, I have my little DIY shit, but like, I'm only going to take DIY. That can only take me so far.
Exactly.
You know? And so, with everything is like, a lot of you guys are hobbyists until you make that leap to be in bigger markets, until you actually like do that.
Until you take it serious. Until that is your full-time job. Even if you have a real full-time job to help supplement that and bring in income so that you can support that. You got to be working on that like it is your you got to be putting 40 hours in a week.
Yeah.
On top of the other 40, and so
40 plus.
And it's an unfortunate truth, but that's the area we live in. You have to work a little bit harder. Like a lot of them will ask me, how do you do it? And it's like, because I love this.
For real.
I love this. Like, and you asking me that shows me that you don't love what you do enough. That's why I can't help you for free anymore.
Well,
I can't do it because you don't love it enough.
Exactly.
They're not matching your energy.
Yeah, no.
One, you know, that tells you, you know, once there may be a bump in a road, they just call it quits and move on.
Exactly.
To where it's like, I don't want to just invest 6 months of my time into trying to like, hey, we can get somewhere, keep building this up, and then you just have a bad day and quit.
Yeah,
we all have bad days.
Yeah. So, all right, enough about me. Let's. But I appreciate the input and things like that, because you like what I've seen you do with like Critter and her content and her consistency. I think that's dope, and that's something I take from you, because she's not the only artist I see doing that. Like, I've reached out to Sam, he manages Quail P and Guap Dad, and they also do Quail did, where he just took it and he's like, yeah, we post 2 times a day at the same times, and we did it for 2 weeks straight, and that's how this song got 100,000 streams so fast. And it's like, okay, I'm learning from the bigger markets, but how do I implement that with my team and things like that? So right. I've seen what you've done with her. Do you like? How do you balance like the input of your creative input, but also like what they want, or how does that work?
Right. Well, a lot of that is back to pre-production. You know, we just talked beforehand, and you know, it's like, hey, these are the 3 songs we're gonna focus on this time, 3, 4, 5 songs, or you know,
right.
We establish what it is we're gonna work on, and then it's like, okay, a lot of her vibe and the mood and tone for a lot of her songs is, you know, night stuff. So basically, whenever we take that into consideration, we think about, do we need to bring a light? Is there going to be like street lamps around, or you know, businesses that have plenty of light and things like that? You know, from there, then it's like, okay, we have our spots, we have our subjects. Now it's like, you know, just listening to the songs. What does that tell you? Does it give you any clues of, you know, something easy that you could do visually to go along with the song and stuff like that? So it's a lot of just back and forth of being like, oh, you see this? I see where you're going with that. In addition, what if we do that with this, or just kind of go, it's very much an open dialogue. And I mean, in the end, you want everyone to be happy with what it is you're creating and putting out and stuff. And so it's just finding a good middle ground on making sure everyone is on the same page and things like that. And a lot of it, like, my goal is, in the end, I just want it to look however our clients want it to look. If they're happy with it, then I'm happy with it. Yeah. Even if it's, not necessarily exactly what I would have done. If at the end they're like, yo, this is fire, I appreciate you doing this, blah, blah, blah. Then I'm like, another happy customer. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah. See, I've gotten that a few times. I'm just like, all right, bro, whatever.
Are you happy with this?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Let's go.
You were about to say something, Celis?
I was going to ask, when you, now like you're like kind of established, or you're in LA, you're making your moves, what is one project that like kind of sticks out to you? Oh shit, like I'm really doing some shit now.
I would say that two summers ago, I directed my homie Niles Abston. He's a stand-up comedian. Right. I directed his stand-up special, kind of helping make sure we have all the production coverage needed and different things like that. Yeah, I directed his comedy special, and it was just so surreal because like that was within the first it was basically a year into moving into LA, and I was halfway across the country in Chicago shooting a comedy special, like just with my friends. Yeah. I, had it all set up. It was smooth. It looked great. It's funny as hell. That had been like the culmination of the previous like month and a half we'd been on the road. Traveling to different city to city and like working on that hour to, by the time he was in Chicago, it was like he could have been asleep and still killed with that. Like he knew it so well, and he was just so ready to shoot. So that was that's like one of my favorite projects. I think a lot back on that, and there've been a lot of other opportunities outside of that have been
So what are you
crazy.
working on? Like, this is pre-recorded. So what are you working on today?
Or
what did you just finish?
Coming up in February, Niles Abston is shooting his next comedy special. Check it out in like 8 months to a year when it's actually out. But it is hilarious. He has been working on this we were actually going to shoot it this past summer, and then he ended up getting a job writing for a TV show. So we had to cancel the tour. And
what TV show?
It's called Crapopolis on Fox.
Yeah.
It's a Dan Harmon show.
He also wrote for Dave.
That was his. Actually, writing on Dave is what funded me being able to come on tour with him, leading up to directing the special. Yeah. And so shout out FX.
Yeah, hold it
down. Wouldn't have been able to tag along for probably the whole thing if it weren't for that.
That's fine.
But no, it was awesome. It was unfortunate we had to cancel it, but he was able to repurpose some of that material for kind of like a little 12-minute special thing that was just released right before Thanksgiving on Don't Tell. Comedy's YouTube page. So he repurposed some of it, but then right after he did that, he got another 10-12 minutes of stuff that's just as good, if not better, that he added in immediately. We were up in San Francisco a couple weekends ago, and he had four shows where he was doing basically an hour every show. And so he was just getting ready, for February when we shoot. So I'm really looking forward to that. We just finished up shooting 9-8 Honda and getting it edited and put out. It'll be out in January. Yeah. And then another big thing that I'm extremely excited about was at the beginning of November this year, around Halloween weekend, November, I was out in Philadelphia with one of my friends who I actually met on the set of 9-8 Honda.
Word.
Yeah. So we just connected there and, that man handed me one dab pen, and we were best friends after that.
That's fire.
And so, we stayed in touch, and whenever we had like a 9-8 Honda viewing out in New York, he came through and stuff, and he was telling me about this TV show he had written, the pilot he had written, and he wanted to act in, and like it was something he was passionate about. So we talked about it, and he asked me to be the director of photography on it, which I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's run it up. I'm game for making everyone's dreams come true. Everyone's dreams come true means my dreams are also coming true. Like if my homies are succeeding, I'm succeeding.
That's fire.
So, I helped get that set up in pre-production, get the camera gear ordered and set. Then we got on there. I was a camera operator, getting everything set and kind of managing the technical aspects of things on set and making sure we had everything we needed to shoot. And so now I'm in the middle of editing that and in the middle of my first draft right now. And it's, we're about 11 minutes in, and I'm thinking this first draft will be like 28, 30 minutes, and then it'll be whittled down to hopefully like 25, 22, 23. Yeah. Gotcha. So it'll be like a episode of television by the time we're wrapped up, and then be ready to take it to market and sell it.
So,
that's what's up, bro.
Are you in those meetings when they pitch the script or like this?
For selling it, if I really wanted to be, I could probably bamboozle my way in. But the homie Lucas he already knows where everything is going. He knows the storyline. It's all in his head. He's written a lot of it and things like that. So it's like there's no one that I would trust more to just blab about anything in general. Like he'll just talk to you about fucking rice, but, whatever you want. So, but you mix that with something he's passionate about, he wrote, he starred in, like he's got it. And I know that, he'll be able to pitch it in the correct way. And stuff.
That's your pocket.
Yeah. That's all I'm asking, because I'm very interested in that. So for sure.
That's dope. So we're gonna wrap this up, but I want to take this time to just thank you for not only investing in me, believing in me, and assisting me. Like, the Tucked Aways wouldn't exist if you hadn't donated the camera. The podcast would not be on the level it is if you hadn't donated the camera.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
No problem at all, boys.
It changed a lot for us. It really did. So I'm very grateful to you.
Hey, like I said, if my homies are winning, I'm winning.
Word.
And that's how it should be, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So I wanted to take a moment before this ends to just let the people know listening to this, like, a lot of this wouldn't be possible without him. I wouldn't be working with LP. Like, the artists wouldn't have the dope visuals they have at my little DIY shows if you played a role in that. It took me saying, like, so is this dude passionate? Does he love what he like? He's like, you were like, nah, yeah, he cares. He gives a fuck. Like, he's worth it. He's worth it. And then I cut LP a fat check, and like, ever since then, it's
man. Shout out LP.
Yeah, it's been love. Like,
interview coming soon.
Yeah, but I just
need that.
A lot of that stems from you. So I just wanted to like thank you and let everybody know, because they hear your name on the pod all the time.
They really do.
They hear your name on the pod.
I hear my name on the pod.
Yeah. So I just wanted to thank you. Yeah. So, but
of course, bro. I got you guys on. Anything that you need and I can help with, I will either do it or find a way that I can give you a push in the right direction, or anything.
But that's your heart, man. I'm eternally grateful for your friendship over the years. And just,
me too. We're at the point in life now where I've known you more days than I haven't. We didn't meet until I was 16.
You're right. Yeah.
15.
Yeah, 15 sophomores. But just to leave it off, what for any like future videographers, man? What's one piece of advice you would have for them? Your vibe collects your tribe, and that tribe, that community is everything. Word. You are nothing without a strong community. You may be able to survive for a while without the help, but after a while, you're going to get burnt out. You're going to run into some walls. Yeah. You can't fix everything. You are not Superman. Yeah. It's like, work and concentrate on the people around you. Some saying or bullshit that I heard or whatever. It's like, you are the product of the 5 people that you spend the most time with and things like that. And I say that a lot. Shit, maybe I got it from you. Who's to say? And that's something that I really take to heart. And keeping talented people around me. More importantly, keeping good-hearted people with good morals around me, because that's something that's important. No one's perfect. We've all fucked up. Yeah. We've all done things that it's like, I'm ashamed that happened. But in the end, end of the night, is this person going to help me out? Are they? Yeah, right. Sorry, I'm so sorry. My intrusive thoughts.
Nah, sometimes intrusive thoughts have to leak out. But it's just like, end of the day, the night. Are you gonna, are these people gonna have your back? Are they gonna help you out when times are tough and it's not easy to, it's not convenient to be your friend, but maybe you're going through something, maybe you're in a creative
like a rut.
Yeah, something like that, having difficulties just getting along. It's like, I'm sad sometimes. I'm not the most fun person to be around when I'm sad, but are those people still gonna love me, support me, help me out, look to me for help in those times? And that's kind of what's important to me. And just that's why I say, if my homies are winning, I'm winning. It's because I have a lot of talented friends around me, and I also have a lot of just kind, compassionate people in my life and in my circle. And if those kind, compassionate people are winning, that's fucking beautiful.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yeah. Zealous, you got anything else for him?
No, I think we're good, man. First off, thank you for being here and blessing us with your grace, man. Because
of course,
I'm inspired by you. James speaks very highly of you.
I appreciate that.
I love your work with Joe and Niles. I definitely need that link when that drops, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. I'll post shit out of that.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So, Becker, thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
Of course. But thank you for having me, fellas. Appreciate you.
With that said, I'm James.
I'm Marcellus.
I'm John.
Kickback. Peace.
Adios. That was fire. I like that.
I was like, I'm inserting myself in this, whether you like it or not. I was like, he's probably not anticipating this, but I will.